Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video on this channel. I'm Sabi from CodeRevolution. So today I'm announcing a great update for the Crawlomatic plugin. It was updated to version 2.0 and a live scraper module was added to it. So as you can see, the plugin will have today version 2.0 update, and it is now able to also scrape content and automatically update it on your site. So the new functionality will be possible using a new shortcode that the plugin has. Crawlomatic Scraper. This is a new shortcode that the plugin offers for your use. And also there will be a Gutenberg block alternative. So if we check here, browse all, and scroll to the bottom, we will see in the embeds part Crawlomatic Scraper shortcode, and this is the alternative of the Crawlomatic Scraper. So this Gutenberg block is an alternative for the Crawlomatic Scraper shortcode. So let me go ahead and demonstrate its features really quick, and afterwards I will be going in details and I will be explaining every parameter it has, because it is quite a extensive shortcode and it has many bolts and nuts, and it can be configured in many ways. So for example, let me get an article from my website here and simply paste the URL in the shortcode parameter, and all I have to do is check these default settings. So output type can be HTML or TXT or text. Let's leave this HTML. And query type, this is also an important settings that I want to emphasize here in the beginning. We can leave this to auto, and we can tell the plugin from where we should get the content from the target page. So for the beginning, let's leave this to auto and let's publish content as it is, and we can view post here, and here it is. This is the crawled content that it was imported from my page. So if we check the crawled page, we can see that I also have images that are not currently appearing. So let me go ahead and go now into details, but first let's fix these images up and let me show you how to display them. So if we go to the source page and right click and hit inspect on an image, we will see that actually this image is lazy loaded, and the lazy loading tag is usually this data-src. So now we can go back here in the source shortcode or source Gutenberg block and search for lazy load image tag and paste the data-src here. Okay, so now we can set cache timeout to 1 or switch to another page just for the sake of demoing the shortcode. So let me go back to my blog and get another article. So for example, I'm not sure which one has. So I think this one has images in it, or there should be, or no. Okay, let me search for another one that should have images. Okay, this one for sure has images. Yeah, this one has images, and this can be added in the parameter here. Let's hit update. And if we go back to our post here and refresh it, we will see that images now appear, and also the content was imported from this post from my site. So the new content was refreshed, and this time also images are appearing and are here. Okay, now let us dive in some advanced shortcode parameters. So in this will detail all and every aspect of what you can configure in the shortcode and also in its Gutenberg block alternative. If you want to check details, you can also see the documentation of the shortcode if you click here, or if you scroll down in the plugin's main settings and click here for documentation. And you will go to this page where you will have an extensive explanation, arguments, and also examples, FAQ, and many more on how this new shortcode can be used. So go ahead, guys, and check the documentation, and let me explain each and every aspect of these parameters. So the URL, this is a required field. This needs to be set before you can use this new feature. So you can set this, and the shortcode or the Gutenberg block will get content from this URL. If you set the URL value by automatic means, you can also set this to automatically URL decode the URL value. But in general, this is not needed. Get page using, you can get the page using the default values that the plugin uses: WP remote request, PhantomJS, or Puppeteer. If you have some content that is JavaScript generated or requires some page rendering to be displayed, then you can use PhantomJS or Puppeteer, but note that this must be configured from the plugin's main settings. So in the PhantomJS settings, you need to set the PhantomJS path on server and similar things for it to work. So this can be done only after you set up the PhantomJS feature of the plugin. On error, so you can configure here what should happen if there was an error when the plugin tried to scrape the content from the pages. You can show or hide the error. Cache minutes, this is the amount of minutes, how long should the plugin keep the content of the scrape pages, and how long should it wait before it refreshes the content to get live data. So this is a live scraper update, and this is the amount of minutes after which the plugin will get new content from the scrape page. Output should be HTML or should get plain text content from the requests. Request timeout in seconds, how long should the plugin wait before it times out the request. This can be increased if you get if you download large pages, or in general a 3-second timeout is acceptable. Also, you can set how you should get content from pages. You can leave this to auto, to leave the plugin to auto detect the content that it scrapes. As you could see in the example I showed you, it got the correct content from my page, and it's extracted it correctly. However, this cannot happen in all cases, and in these cases you can set here CSS Selector, XPath, Regex expression in the query string below, and you will be able to set the to select the content that you wish to show in your page, which will be extracted from the source article. Also, you will be able to show the full content of the page, or to display the page in an iframe on your site. Okay, so this is the query string that will select here. Also, you will be able to decode the query that you inputted here, but usually this will be done if the query string was added by automatic means. Content stripping query type, this is similar to the query type here, but this will strip content that was imported already. For example, if you wish to strip partial content, so the plugin got this full content, and this part has an ID or a class that you wish to will be removed, you can set the class in the content stripping query type and content stripping query string. This will remove the content that you wish from the full content. And also you can replace the content it matches using the content replacing query type and replace with this string. you can use the lazy loading image tag in case you need it, and I already showed you how to use it. You can strip links from content, you can strip internal links. So the difference between these two is that internal links are links that point to the same site that you are crawling. So for example, if you crawl content from TechCrunch, then you can strip links that point to other TechCrunch articles from the crawled content and leave the other links in the imported content. You can also strip JavaScript from content, strip images, content percentage to keep. You can keep 50% of the imported content, for example. Enable text spinning. If you set this to 1, then the plugin will use the text spinning options that are set up here in the main settings of the plugin. Or you can also set a specific spinner with specific credentials to be used. For example, you can use the name of the spinner, for example, spin rewriter, the username of the spinner, and the API key or password of the spinner. So for example, you will be able to use best spinner, word AI, spin rewriter, Turkcell spin, built-ins, wiki synonyms, and free thesaurus. The built-in does not require any credentials, nor these two, only the premium ones here. You can auto-translate imported content to any language. Keep in mind that you should use 2-letter codes here. For example, AFR for French, DE for German, and so on. Translate source language. You can set the source language of the translation. Leave this to auto to allow the content to be auto-detected. You can also set this to a 2-letter code. User agent string that you wish to set to the imported content or the request. This should the user agent string that you wish to send with your requests. Char set of the imported content. This is an advanced feature, and set this only if you know what you are doing. Iframe height. So if you set the query type to iframe, you can set here the height of it that will be displayed in the page. You can send custom headers with the request. You can set a custom content glue. If you will have multiple content that matches the query that you set, you will be the plugin will use this glue to display the full content on your page. And here are some advanced stuff that I will be explaining here real quick. So in case the content matches multiple query, there are multiple matches for the query that you set up, then you can import only the first match or the second match and so on. So if you set here 2, then you will import only the second match that matched the full content using the query that you set up. Greater, you can set here the plugin to import only matches that are greater than the second index. So first 2 matches will be skipped and there will be only imported the greater indexed matches, or less than. This is the same, but the less than second index will be imported. For example, the first 2. Base href, this is the base URL that will be replaced for links. This is an optional feature. Link target attribute, you can set here blank to open links in a new tab. Row output callback function and output callback functions, these can be set to PHP functions that will filter the raw HTML that was imported and the final HTML that the plugin is almost displaying on the page. And enable debug mode, you can set this to 1 to enable debug mode, but this should be used only when debugging some plugin issues. Okay, so this is all. Keep in mind that you can use also the Crawlomatic scraper alternative, and using this you will be able to use also in the generated post content, for example. So if you crawl TechCrunch, you can set here in the generated post content settings field, instead of item content, you can set the Crawlomatic scraper shortcode, and the URL can be set to item URL, and like this the plugin will be able to automatically scrape content from TechCrunch posts that it imports and to also get live content from the page. So this is a great feature to have, and I will be making more videos on this in the future to better explain the immense potential that this new feature brings. And also I will be giving more examples on how to use it, because this shortcode can be combined with any of the plugins I created. So you can get any content from any website, and you can use other plugins to automatically fill out this URL field and to get content from any site that other plugins might crawl or scrape or import content using APIs. So yeah, thank you for watching until then. This is an extensive video today. We had an extensive video explaining the new features of the Crawlomatic v2 update, and keep subscribed to this channel because more examples and explanations and use cases will be coming on this channel. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Bye bye.